I'm J. Scott Scheel, the founder and CEO of the Commercial Academy, the president of Scheel Publishing and many other businesses. I'm also a father and a husband. I'm also a mentor to thousands of people all across the country, representing hundreds of millions of dollars worth of assets and many millions of square feet across all categories of real estate. I'm reaching out to you today because of the unprecedented health crisis being caused by COVID-19 and the further unprecedented action of our federal government in quarantining folks and stopping business in its tracks. COVID-19 has the potential to have an unprecedented financial impact on our country, economy, and the entire world. Even our most respected economic authorities are uncertain as to how we can best make our way through this crisis. The American people do not want to stop working. In fact, we are being mandated and told to stop working and to shelter in place. Of course, we all want to do our part to flatten the curve and end the virus threat quickly. But if we can believe what we are told by healthcare professionals, that 95% of positive cases will only experience mild to moderate flu symptoms, then why is it acceptable for us all to sacrifice our future, our family's well-being, even risking our businesses and our lifelong career aspirations? We have a plan. Our plan is unique. We call it the Moratorium and Forbearance Debt Relief Act, or MAFDRA. It is extremely simple and very fair, and it encompasses all citizens, all businesses, and all institutions. The first phase of MAFDRA will provide for a full forbearance of payments and interest for a duration equal to the length of the federal state of emergency. It will also mirror that of the mandated government-forced quarantine. The second phase of MAFDRA will aid in the fiscal quarters immediately after the lifting of the state of emergency. After that, the recovery date, which will be memorialized by the federal government, all businesses will be able to remobilize, restock, and restaff. This plan will work if MAFDRA mandates that forbearance applies to all debt service payments, including bank debt, real estate debt, automotive and equipment finance, credit card payments, government payments, property taxes, and more. An important feature of MAFDRA is that it provides for no blanket cash payments from government to individuals and no debt forgiveness by any party. All payers will resume making their normal payments at the conclusion of the program, and it will start on a federally mandated date in the same place where it left off before MAFDRA went into effect. This requires an across-the-board moratorium on interest. Everyone, including business owners, should be impacted the exact same way. MAFDRA allows everyone during this crisis to live in peace and to rest assured that during their forced exile, no one will be destroyed. No one needs to lose their home, their business, their livelihood, their life's work, any of their assets, or their ability to provide for their loved ones, simply because they are complying with mandates to act in the interest of the greater common good. For the average American worker with their largest monthly payments in forbearance, which would be applied to mortgages, vehicles, credit cards, and student loans, millions of people could then tend to the two essential remaining primary expenses of providing food for their families and energy for their homes. Federal legislation can allow accountants to skip these months in all financial and legal documents. April, May, and June financially did not occur. They are not registered, and it could simply be added to the back end of all repayment schedules. Everything else remains exactly the same. Without the additional economic stress of maintaining debt payments, Americans would tend to the health needs of themselves, their families, and the most vulnerable members of their communities. The previously announced $1,000 to $2,000 checks and the expedited unemployment benefits will help many affected by this nationwide crisis. Reducing the economic stress on small business owners could enable them to maintain employees who would have otherwise been laid off and keep doors open to businesses that could have shuttered and possibly never reopened. Previous federal crisis initiatives tended to invest massive amounts of cash into short-term, poorly executed solutions. These initiatives failed to achieve their intended results. Eventually, the economy required trillions of dollars in bailouts to avoid total banking collapse caused by defaulted loans. MAFDRA addresses the root cause of these failures. The American workforce is happy to resume their debt payments when the economy returns to pre-crisis levels. Why cause losses on all sides? They are happy to pay the debt burden that they agreed to prior to the crisis, and we will not be writing down debt values. Thus, MAFDRA should include provisions that all lending institutions must make small business loans and lines of credits available through this crisis. Again, the Federal Reserve has injected $1.5 trillion in easing to make sure that banks have the liquidity that they need to help during this crisis. Banks can take an active role in jump-starting the economy without fear of being shut down due to excessive defaults because federal regulators stepped in, such as happened in the Great Recession during the late 2000s. MAFDRA's timeout scenario can be our solution. We keep it simple so that the country and the world can return to normalcy. This time of forbearance will keep us united through the process, and when it's over, everyone will be allowed to return to their posts and responsibly resume paying their rightful debts with certainty that they will not be destroyed by the state of emergency. Ladies and gentlemen, this plan will work. Let's work together collectively. There is no pride of authorship in this. All ideas are welcome. New ideas can be added to this program or some very similar program, but we must work tirelessly to make it the law of the land. I have dedicated my team, my companies, my personal resources, and my time to make certain that we reach out to all of our representatives, our congressmen, our senators, and more. Make sure our voices are heard. Billions and trillions of dollars are being committed to this problem. Rest assured, we will emerge from this crisis. We will be better, stronger, more prepared, and more informed. But under no circumstances should we be devastated by this unforeseen threat. May God bless us all during this crisis. May God bless your family, and may God bless the United States of America.